All right, so field walk for week of the 13th. First thing I wanted to do is show you guys, I try to show this off every year. So when we get greens like this in our rows, now the lettuce is kind of weedy, but it's not ready yet, and you're getting head lettuce. But when we get greens like this, either we have to go through with our knives and cut it all, or snap off stuff. And this isn't kale that we planted to have big leaves on. Or we use our greens cutter, which has really made things awesome over the last few years, because we put our drill on and then just go through like this. And what would normally have taken us, I don't know, 15-20 minutes there, depending on who was doing it, it's just a couple seconds. And we could have gone more, but we don't need any more. And then we just dump it in our bins, and we're ready to go to the next. So that's the deal. I'm gonna walk around and do the rest of the farm tour now. All right, so finished up getting the kale in. This is lettuce for the next month, because we got a break from the head lettuce for a bit. You know, that's going to be getting us through the frost. More kale. We've got more radishes. I just seeded some extra radishes too. And we've gone and cultivated up and down the carrot rows. You can see beans. Now these first 5 rows here, these are for our friend Roger, who runs BEPA's, I don't know what the full company name is, but anyway, he had us plant beans for him and pick them since our beans are doing so well. So we've got that, but all of this is ours and what you're getting in shares. So some of you may have been like, what the heck are those beans? What are those things? The weirdest ones are these. They're dragon's tongues, but I think they're the sweetest. We originally planted them because, you know, kids and different colors and fun food, but I think they taste the best. They don't produce as much as the green or the yellows or even the purples, but they taste great. So we're just going to keep plowing through these beans for shares. We got cabbage here, either next week or the week after. This is our late squash, and as you can tell in your shares, there's still squash coming. It's great. See that down there? Now that's a small one. This is a pie pumpkin that we're gonna, can I get the light on that? There we go. That we're gonna be harvesting later on in the year. They turn, can we see that one? Yeah, that's a little bigger. They don't turn completely orange. It's more of a peachish green color. But they're just awesome. They taste so good. Peppers are looking good. Again, we're starting to see some color on the peppers. On the bell peppers here, tomatoes are what tomatoes are right now. I really think we're lucky to still have tomatoes out in the field because of all the rain. But a week without, and they're actually putting on some new green. So again, you got tomatoes in the shares. Over here, we flipped our tarp from the first spot, which turned out actually really good. There was nothing green underneath. It was very moist. I'm hoping most of the grass and weed seeds perished in the heat. We're putting it over here. Now on this one, we are doing an experiment. Half underneath here was sprayed down with vinegar, and the other half let go. We're gonna see if that makes a difference, just because we have such a problem with the grass and it doesn't reproduce by seeds. I mean, it does, but our biggest problem is that it has rhizomes that anytime they get cut, they re-sprout. This is kale from a while ago. We're gonna cut this down in the next few days and hopefully it'll grow back. It's really beat up from the summer. Got more kale little seedlings out here for later on in the year. So over here we've seeded beets and carrots for October, November, really November. And then we got seedlings out here as well as seeding. Broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. Now we've got spaced kale here, so we'll be getting bigger leaves off of that. More lettuce. Your head lettuce is going to come from there. Probably be the last week of that head lettuce. The late crop of cucumbers is starting to slow down. You can see it looks pretty beat up. So cucumbers are almost done, but I did get 50 jars of pickles made this weekend, and hopefully I can get enough off of them, as well as for in shares to do another 50. This is the squash field we started. I mean, it's still producing. There's zucchini and stuff in there, but it's also it's dying off, which is fine. And then way out here, not out here, I guess it's the closest to the house and the road. Take you through the winter squash. So yeah, here we go. You can see a bunch of acorn squash in there. There's actually delicata over here too. Well, there's spaghetti. Delicata's kind of buried. And then we've got our butternut squash further down. There we go. Butternut vines more. So it's all over the place. And then all the way down here, we've got carving pumpkins. So and you can see they are everywhere, and they're enormous. I'm not sure if we're gonna do carving pumpkins in shares, because obviously it's not really an eating pumpkin, but oh man, they're so big. We'll see. We got a lot of pie pumpkins, and winter squash, and they're really gonna fill up bins, so we'll see how that goes. We may have a day where shareholders can come out and pick up a pumpkin or two, you know, if they want to carve it, or their kids want to carve it, or, you know, go pick their own. We'll see. But that's the field now. We haven't gotten much work in the last week done on the tunnel. Otherwise you'd see it back there. But that's how it is. And the next step for us is we're starting up seeds for inside that tunnel. That'll get us through the end of the year, the seedlings, once we transplant them. And we are canning beans, making dilly beans, as well as freezing beans for shares over the winter. So that's where we're at, and I'll see everybody later.